We have won the Great War. Now we will win the last war. We'll rip her out root and stem.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Aladin. A few days ago, Game of Thrones released new images for episode 4 that we gotta break down. This episode will mainly be about the aftermath of the long night as well as what they're gonna do next with Cersei. But before I get started, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. It definitely helps out the channel grow and lets others like you stay tuned with the latest shows and movies. And also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you guys can get notified right away when I drop my next video. The first image that we see is the Hound, Ser Davos, Sansa, Arya, and Bran, as well as some northern men all waiting there ready to light the dead soldiers on fire. They're most likely doing this as a sign of respect to the ones that have fallen, as well as taking some action of burning the bodies in case anything happens, like having the dead come back to life, even though they most likely know that won't happen since they already killed the Night King. It'll be quite interesting to see how Arya interacts with everyone when telling them that she killed the Night King. Everyone always thought it was going to be Jon to kill the Night King, but nope, it was all Arya. Also, I gotta mention this, I really like how the Hound really does care and wants to protect Arya. I feel like he sees a little bit of himself in her with her rootless and not giving a shit attitude. I do like the relationship of the two and I do hope to see more scenes of them together. I'm not quite sure how many soldiers the North still has after that devastating battle, but I'm guessing it won't be enough than what they previously had, which might cause some drama and debate when going after Cersei when Daenerys asked the Northern men to join her. The second image here is the same shot as the first, but this time we see Grey Worm, Varys, Missandei, Daenerys, and Tyrion, as well as the remaining Unsullied behind her. Basically, this is Daenerys' whole crew in one shot. They're also looking at the dead bodies which are about to be burned, which I know will be hard for Daenerys to look at since Jorah will be upon one of those dead bodies. So Jorah died last episode protecting Daenerys from the dead when she fell off Drogon right outside of Winterfell. I still can't believe though Grey Worm survived that battle against all those whites and still wasn't killed off. Don't get me wrong now, his character is wonderful and actually fun watching, but at the same time Grey Worm was going up against hundreds of whites left and right and you're telling me he literally killed them all? Like there's no way for that. The same could also be said for Jaime, Brienne, Tormund, Gendry, and Podrick. Like I just can't believe that not one of them died last episode. But maybe Grey Worm will actually survive throughout the end, but at the same time he might die in the final battle against Cersei. As of now, anything has certainly happened since Game of Thrones has been throwing us off crazy with these twists this season. Now with the third picture, it's actually showing everyone together, Jon and Daenerys' group getting ready to light the bodies on fire. We see Tormund all the way at the end, Sansa, Arya, Jon, Grey Worm, Daenerys, and Sam all walking towards the dead bodies to light them up. I'm very curious to see how many platforms they have of dead bodies on there. We know there will be a shit ton of Unsullied and maybe even the Thraki on there. This episode will mainly be about the aftermath of the battle with the Night King, so don't expect any crazy action sequence to happen this episode. You'll most likely just hear dialogue about what they're gonna do next with Cersei, as well as what their plan will be when actually heading down to King's Landing. But before I go to the next image, I really was a little disappointed on how the battle didn't at least last 2 episodes. I just felt like it was a little rushed and just went right to the point. We didn't even see the White Walkers fight anyone. They just sat back and let all the whites do the work. Like what kind of bullshit was that? But I won't be upset about that the whole time. It's done now and now we just gotta look forward for the last war with Cersei. This image looks similar to the one where we saw Jon and Daenerys in the first episode where they went up to check on Drogon and Rhaegal since they weren't feeling well. It looks like Daenerys might be watching as Jon is riding Rhaegal. You can even tell by Drogon's eyes as he's staring up, which might be Jon landing down with Rhaegal or even flying off with him. It can actually be either one at this moment. It seems to me that Jon and Rhaegal do actually have a strong bond with one another. In the last episode, we saw the two together for half the episode flying around and even fighting in the sky. I like that to be honest, just because Daenerys hasn't really been giving Rhaegal the attention that he needs, which really isn't her fault but just the fault of the showrunners for not having her bond with him more. Obviously, this is due to her spending more time with Drogon, which is her main dragon right now, so that's why I do think it's kind of good that Jon is spending more time with Rhaegal and just bonding with him. One thing I like a lot about this image is the look on Drogon's face where he's all suspicious and even wondering what the hell is going on. It looks like he's all good here considering last episode he was getting stabbed and jumped by a shit ton of whites when he was landing down with Daenerys. Thankfully he's all good though. We get a new image of Jon, which is the same image from the shot where he was walking with everyone to torch the bodies that have died. This image also shows a more injured, exhausted Jon where we see him beaten and scratched up. Wouldn't say that he's terribly beaten up, but he does have a few cuts on him. I'm very curious to see what happens next with him and Daenerys. All these seasons Jon has focused about protecting the North and fighting the Night King. Now that both of those two are actually completed and done with, what will he do next? I do think in the next 2 episodes he will tell everyone who he really is and who his true parents are. It'll definitely be interesting to see how everyone reacts to this. This next image we see Daenerys, Missandei, and Varys discussing strategies when heading to King's Landing. You can also tell they're talking about King's Landing if you're looking at the map. I am assuming they're just trying to figure out which strategy it would be best when going at Cersei right now. They might even be looking at Jon or Tyrion here. Tyrion still does want to take down Cersei as much as Daenerys does. I am just worried though that Daenerys might start acting ruthless as she did in the first couple seasons when talking about the Iron Throne. She doesn't know how to feel about the whole Jon being the rightful heir right now, which might cause some tension between her and Jon if Jon decides that he wants to rule. But I highly doubt we will see Jon shift his focus on that just because he never wanted to rule nor wanted to be in that position of ruling. But who knows, Jon might end up actually wanting to take the throne and change how everything is right now. We see Daenerys' ship sailing, which looks like they might be sailing towards King's Landing or maybe even Dragonstone. We know we saw Daenerys back at Dragonstone in the official trailer, so this might actually be them going there to plan their attack on Cersei. I really hope we do see Jon say something about this though. I wouldn't mind having the two rule together, but I don't even know if Daenerys wants that, especially having someone next to her when ruling the 7 kingdoms. This power that Daenerys is seeking for will be the death of her if she doesn't start thinking a little more wiser and smarter when it comes to the Iron Throne. And lastly, the final image we see the disgusting couple Cersei and Euron, as well as her big ass bodyguard the Mountain behind her. So we know these two are together now. They even had sex in the first episode of this season. Euron desires to be with Cersei as well as being by her side as king. I just can't stand Cersei, to be honest. This power hunger that she has is so annoying, and I can't wait to see her die already, whether it's from Arya's hands, Jaime, or even Tyrion. Overall, these two are annoying as hell, and I would have loved to see Theon go after Euron, but sadly Theon had died last episode protecting Bran from the Night King. Hopefully Yara can actually go after Euron and put him in his place already, but I also think this shot is them staring at the Golden Company outside of King's Landing and waiting for the arrival of Daenerys and her army. But how do you guys feel about these new images for episode 4? We know Jon and Daenerys will take action towards Cersei, and these images just seem to be showing the process of what they're going to be doing next. But what did you guys think about these new images? Did anything stand out to you? If so, leave all your comments in the comments section and let me know what you guys thought. I just want to say thank you all for watching, and if you haven't already, hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't by now. If you don't mind, share the video if you thought it was good and want others to see it. Watch my other videos containing Game of Thrones Season 8 in the next video. I'll have more Game of Thrones content up in the upcoming days, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all once more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.